Keep Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes once looked like Hollywood's perfect power duo, flashing smiles on red carpets and pulling cameras toward them everywhere they went. When their daughter Suri was born, the hype only exploded more, with fans believing this was the ultimate celebrity family. But when their split hit out of nowhere, the vibe flipped fast and everything changed, especially for Suri. Over the years, quiet whispers turned into loud rumors about Tom's distant relationship with his daughter, with many people side-eyeing his deep connection to Scientology is the real reason behind the separation. Now that Suri has officially turned 18, she made a bold move that instantly shook the internet and reportedly stunned Tom himself. People are asking the same wild question over and over. Is it really true that Tom and Suri haven't seen each other in more than 10 years? And what exactly did Suri do that has everyone talking like this story just cracked wide open? This family drama is making waves for reasons nobody saw coming, and it's way deeper than a simple Hollywood breakup. Before diving into Suri's headline-making decision, we have to rewind and look at how her parents' relationship even started, because the real story behind Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes is anything but normal. Their romance played out like a movie script, fast, flashy, and intense from day one. Katie was riding high off her iconic role as Joey Potter on Dawson's Creek when she crossed paths with Tom, who was already locked in as one of the biggest movie stars on the planet. At the time, Katie was engaged to actor Chris Klein, but things took a sharp turn after an old interview resurfaced where she admitted Tom was her dream guy. In a 17 magazine interview, she openly said she had a crush on him growing up, and once that clip went viral, people couldn't stop connecting the dots. Not long after, Katie and Chris called off their engagement, and soon enough, she was introduced to Tom, kicking off one of the fastest and most talked about celebrity romances ever. From the outside, it looked like a fairy tale, but stepping into Tom's world meant stepping into his lifestyle, and that came with some serious rules. One of the biggest adjustments for Katie was Tom's deep commitment to Scientology, something she had never dealt with before. Friends close to the situation noticed how intense that influence was, and it didn't take long before people started questioning how much control the church had over his personal life. Even before Katie entered the picture, Tom had a string of relationships that just didn't stick, and insiders hinted that Scientology played a role in that too. According to former Scientologists, the church wasn't just a background presence, it was actively involved in his dating life. Reports claimed the church would scout women and quietly set up introductions, searching for someone who would fit both Tom's life and their belief system. Vanity Fair even reported that actresses like Sofia Vergara and Scarlett Johansson were allegedly approached, though Johansson shut that down hard, calling the story demeaning and saying only a maniac would come up with something like that. Still, the rumor stuck, and they painted a picture of a world where finding a partner wasn't just about love, but loyalty to a belief system that came first no matter what. For Tom, finding someone willing to fully step into that world wasn't optional, it was essential, and that reality would later play a massive role in how everything unraveled. Being with Tom didn't just mean dating a movie star, it meant stepping fully into the world of Scientology, no shortcuts allowed. His past relationships with Nicole Kidman and Mimi Rogers reportedly cracked under pressure because of constant clashes tied to the church's influence. According to insiders, Nicole wanted nothing to do with Scientology, and that was a major problem for Tom, who treated loyalty to the church as non-negotiable. That tension quietly pulled things apart, even when the public thought everything looked calm and polished. So when Katie Holmes entered the picture, it quickly became clear that being with Tom wasn't just about love or fame, it was about alignment with his belief system. Sources say that once you were in Tom's orbit, the church was always present, always watching, always shaping decisions. This wasn't just dating, this was a full lifestyle shift, and Katie was suddenly deep inside a world she had never signed up for before. Adding to the mystery, actress Nazanin Boniadi was rumored to have gone through an intense vetting process to date Tom, a situation that allegedly involved constant monitoring, strict rules, and heavy restrictions. Former insiders claimed it felt more like an evaluation than a relationship, and while that situation didn't last long, it raised serious eyebrows across Hollywood. For Katie, though, this wasn't a test run, it was the real deal, and it marked the beginning of her life inside Tom's carefully controlled controlled universe. Then came the moment that burned their romance into pop culture forever. In 2005, Tom and Katie's relationship hit a whole new level when Tom appeared on The Oprah Winfrey Show and delivered one of the wildest moments in TV history. While talking about Katie, Tom's energy exploded off the charts, leading to the now legendary couch-jumping moment that nobody could look away from. As he shouted his love for Holmes, jumping on Oprah's couch with pure chaos energy, Oprah looked shocked but kept it moving like a pro. Tom beamed with emotion, loudly declaring he was in love, leaving zero doubt about how deep he was in. Moments later, he ran backstage, brought Katie out in front of the audience, and wrapped her in a hug as she smiled shyly, clearly overwhelmed by the spotlight. The dramatic move went viral instantly, flooding headlines everywhere and locking their relationship into pop culture history. But behind the cheers and shock, not everyone was convinced this was a fairy tale that would last. Hollywood was split right down the middle. Some people loved the raw energy and loud passion Tom was showing, calling it fearless and real, but others were straight up uncomfortable watching it unfold. To critics, his excitement felt way too much, like it swallowed the room and left no space for anything else. That over-the-top moment didn't just dominate headlines, it completely hijacked the conversation, pushing everything else into the background. The timing made it even messier. Tom was supposed to be promoting War of the Worlds, but instead, every interview, every clip, every headline turned into relationship talk. Reports later claimed Paramount wasn't happy at all because the movie got buried under Tom's public romance antics. Instead of sci-fi hype, people were replaying couch clips and debating his behavior non-stop. That was one of the first clear signs that this relationship, no matter how shiny it looked, came with serious complications. Not long after their big public love declarations, Tom took things even further. In 2005, he proposed to Katie at the top of the Eiffel Tower in Paris, a move that screamed grand gesture energy. While it wasn't a classic down-on-one-knee moment, Katie walked away with a jaw-dropping 5-carat yellow diamond ring that instantly turned heads. The message was loud and clear. This relationship was moving at full speed with no brakes. Just months later, the couple announced they were expecting their first child, and once again, Tom's intense involvement became the headline. In an interview, he openly shared that he bought a sonogram machine so he could monitor the pregnancy at home. He said he planned to donate it to a hospital afterward, but medical professionals quickly raised concerns. Experts warned that sonograms should only be done by trained professionals, not casually at home, and the public debate exploded. Then came April 18, 2006, when Suri was born under conditions that shocked a lot of people. Katie reportedly gave birth in complete silence, a decision connected to Scientology beliefs. According to those teachings, noise and spoken words during childbirth can negatively affect both the mother and the baby. This practice, encouraged by the church's founder L. Ron Hubbard, was something Katie reportedly agreed to, though many quietly wondered how she truly felt in that moment. For Katie, being with Tom meant more than love, fame, and flashing cameras. It meant following strict rules tied to his belief system. From the outside, they looked unstoppable, rich, powerful, and untouchable. But behind closed doors, the pressure of Tom's world and the limits placed on Katie appeared to be stacking up fast. Even while they seemed to have everything, cracks were forming that no red carpet could hide. Rumors about cracks in Tom and Katie's relationship kept getting louder, and it was clear something was brewing behind the scenes. What once looked like a flawless Hollywood love story was slowly turning tense, setting the stage for a breakup that would blindside the public. Smiles stayed frozen for the cameras, but insiders whispered that pressure was building fast, and not everyone close to Katie was convinced this relationship was built to last. One major issue started right at home. Katie's parents, who are strict Catholics, were never fully comfortable with Tom's deep commitment to Scientology, and that concern didn't fade with time. For them, this wasn't just about who their daughter was dating, it was about her entire life shifting in a direction they didn't recognize. They worried Katie was being pulled away from her roots and into a belief system they didn't trust or understand. Those worries came to the surface before Tom and Katie's massive 2006 wedding in Italy. As the big day approached, rumors swirled that Katie's parents might skip the wedding entirely. The idea that their daughter was moving further away from her Catholic upbringing made them uneasy, and they feared the strong influence Scientology had in Tom's world. People close to the family said the tension was real and emotions were running high. Despite all that, Katie's parents chose to show up and support her. At the rehearsal dinner, her father, Marty Holmes, gave a heartfelt speech, publicly expressing his respect for Tom and his love for Katie. Even though they weren't thrilled with every choice she made, they pushed their concerns aside for that moment. For one night, it looked like peace had been made, and the family was willing to give their blessing, at least on the surface. But the wedding itself came with its own set of red flags. The ceremony was ultra-luxurious, reportedly costing around $3.5 million, and held in a historic Italian castle that screamed elite energy. Yet beneath the glamour, there were moments that made guests raise their eyebrows. Katie reportedly kept everyone waiting far longer than expected before walking down the aisle, while Tom stood smiling at the front, calm but noticeably alone for a long stretch. Actress Leah Remini later said the wedding was so beyond what your mind could compute. And for Katie, it probably felt like the fairy tale she once dreamed about. The castle, the gowns, the cameras, it all looked unreal from the outside. But that magical day wasn't the happy ending. It was the opening scene of a marriage that quickly became complicated and heavy in ways few people fully understood. In the early days, Katie appeared calm and smiling, but people close to her started noticing subtle shifts that didn't sit right. She became quieter, more reserved, and some even described her presence as robotic at times. Life with Tom wasn't simple, especially with his intense involvement in Scientology, and Katie was expected to move in lockstep with that world. This wasn't just about belief, it was about structure, control, and constant supervision. According to insiders, Tom's handlers were always nearby, even inside their home. Katie was often surrounded by people assigned to monitor schedules, movements, and interactions, making privacy almost impossible. Journalist Maureen Orth shared her experience after having dinner with the couple in 2010, noting how fans repeatedly approached them throughout the meal. When Orth commented on how hard public life must be, Katie's response raised eyebrows when she quietly said, "Oh, we don't go outside very much." Over time, Katie also began pulling away from friends and family, slowly cutting ties for parts of her old life. The isolation didn't happen overnight. It built up year after year, becoming more noticeable with each public appearance. Deborah Beard, the journalist who interviewed Katie years earlier for 17 magazine when she was young and full of hope, pointed out the drastic change in her energy. Beard observed how Katie's appearances felt mechanical, repeating how Tom was amazing again and again, almost like a script on loop. This wasn't the relaxed, grounded girl Beard remembered meeting back then. And Katie's shift didn't go unnoticed by Jenna Miscavige Hill, the niece of Scientology leader David Miscavige. Having grown up inside Scientology herself, Hill understood the pressure that kind of environment could create. She later spoke openly about experiencing mental and even physical abuse within the organization and expressed sympathy for Katie, recognizing the intense strain she was likely under. After 5 years of marriage, Katie made a move that shocked everyone. In June 2012, she filed for divorce, a decision that reportedly blindsided Tom completely. He later admitted he never saw it coming, making the split hit even harder. The timing couldn't have been worse for him either, as the news broke just days before his 50th birthday. Reflecting on the moment, Tom reportedly said, "To be 50 and then it hits you, this is it. What life can do to you," trying to process the sudden shift. While he attempted to keep things light by saying you need a sense of humor, the pain behind those words was clear. Even after the filing, both Tom and Katie were initially seen still wearing their wedding rings, but the decision was already final. Throughout the divorce, Tom's 2 older children, Connor and Isabella, stayed close to him, offering support during the fallout. For Katie, though, everything centered on one priority: her daughter, Suri. Katie's lawyer released a statement making it crystal clear that her primary concern remains, as it always has been, her daughter's best interest, and that message spoke volumes. In the days after the announcement, Katie was spotted in New York looking noticeably different. Friends and fans alike pointed out a sense of relief on her face, as if a weight had finally lifted after years inside a tightly controlled world that no longer defined her. As part of the divorce agreement, Katie Holmes was reportedly restricted from publicly dating anyone for 5 years after her split from Tom Cruise, an unusual clause that instantly raised eyebrows across Hollywood. This contract-bound limitation meant any new romance had to stay low-key, quiet, and completely out of the spotlight. On top of that, she was allegedly not allowed to introduce any partner to Suri, which made rebuilding a normal personal life even harder. Despite those limits, Katie still found a way to move forward. She quietly dated actor Jamie Foxx from 2013 until 2019, keeping the relationship tightly under wraps. No red carpets, no public statements, no flashy appearances, just silence and privacy. Later, Katie hinted that this relationship helped her reclaim her independence and finally breathe again after years of living by strict rules. She shared, "I don't have a lot of rules for myself, and I don't take myself that seriously," making it clear she was done living under constant pressure. Over time, Katie settled into a new rhythm, balancing work, motherhood, and personal freedom on her own terms. The control was gone, the walls were down, and she looked more grounded than ever. Meanwhile, Tom Cruise's relationship with his children remained complicated and layered. With his ex-wife, Nicole Kidman, Tom adopted 2 children, Connor and Isabella. Both stayed connected to Scientology, which Tom has long been deeply devoted to, and that connection appeared to keep their bond intact. Isabella, often called Bella, pursued a career as an artist and stayed mostly out of the public eye. She remained a committed Scientologist, which many believe helped preserve her relationship with her father. Later, she married in London, though neither Tom nor Nicole attended the wedding. Despite that, Bella denied any distance, telling the Daily Mail, "Of course we talk, they're my parents," shutting down rumors with confidence. Connor took a different route, dabbling in film early on and later working as a DJ. Like his sister, he keeps his life private and rarely shares family moments online. Still, he and Tom were spotted together in London in 2019, bonding during a private helicopter ride. Tom's love for high-risk thrills like helicopter piloting, a skill he sharpened for Mission Impossible, became one of the few ways he connected with Connor. But when it comes to Suri, the story looks very different. Tom and Suri have not been publicly seen together since 2012, and their relationship has remained a mystery ever since. According to Hollywood Life, Tom still loves his daughter deeply and hopes to reconnect someday, but the distance between them feels undeniable. Many believe Scientology's strict views may have played a role in keeping them apart, though nothing has ever been officially confirmed. That brings us to the moment everything shifted again. On April 18th, Suri officially turned 18, stepping into adulthood and opening a brand new chapter. For years, Katie and Suri lived quietly in New York, far from Hollywood noise and even farther from Tom's world. Since gaining full custody in 2012, Katie has been Suri's primary parent, shaping her life with stability and privacy. As part of the divorce settlement, Tom agreed to pay $400,000 per year in child support until Suri turned 18, a deal that officially ended once she reached adulthood. Rumors later claimed Katie was worried the payments would stop, but her attorney, Jonathan Wolfe, shut that down fast, calling the reports false and saying her finances would not be affected. Katie was ready for this moment, and it showed. Suri grew up focused, creative, and grounded, with her mother firmly by her side. As she prepared for college, their bond only grew stronger. Though Suri avoided the spotlight, she embraced creativity just like her parents. Katie, now a director, involved Suri in her projects, creating meaningful moments behind the scenes. Suri's voice appeared in Alone Together 2022, where she sang a cover of Blue Moon, and again in Rare Objects 2023. These collaborations brought them even closer, blending family and creativity in a safe, supportive space.
"I hope she always does something on my films," Katie shared with Glamour, adding that working together felt natural. She described it as a safe, beautiful, creative space and spoke openly about how meaningful it was to share those moments with her daughter. She said, "She's my heart," making her priorities crystal clear. Now grown, Suri has continued to make her mother proud, balancing independence with humility and purpose. But just as people were celebrating her growth, another headline grabbed attention. When Suri graduated from high school in June, she marked the milestone surrounded by friends and family in New York. One person's absence stood out immediately: her father, Tom Cruise. The internet noticed fast, and questions exploded everywhere. While Suri celebrated her big day, Tom was photographed at the VIP tent of Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, laughing and mingling with stars like Hugh Grant, Ashton Kutcher, and Mila Kunis. The contrast was impossible to ignore, and fans couldn't help but question his priorities. Then came another shock. After turning 18, Suri reportedly decided to drop Cruise and go by Suri Noel, using her mother's middle name instead. According to Page 6, a source said Suri wanted her own identity and felt proud carrying a name connected to Katie. Many saw it as a quiet but powerful statement of loyalty to the woman who raised her. Katie and Suri's bond remains strong and unbreakable. According to US Weekly, they are a real team, more in sync than ever and deeply protective of their private life. An insider even described their relationship as a beautiful thing to witness, built on trust, support, and shared creativity. As Suri prepares to begin college at Carnegie Mellon University in Pennsylvania, she steps into independence with confidence and grace. Life as a freshman marks a whole new era, one shaped not by headlines, but by the quiet strength she and her mother built together over the years. On her high school decision day in June, Suri quietly made waves without saying a word. She showed up wearing a Carnegie Mellon sweatshirt, and that single outfit choice lit up social media instantly. Fans clocked it right away, realizing she had already locked in her next move, and the buzz spread fast. It wasn't loud or flashy, just confident, calm, and very Suri-coded. By August, Katie was right there beside her daughter, helping her settle into college life like any hands-on mom would. Cameras caught Katie carrying boxes, hauling suitcases, and moving Suri's things into our dorm in Pittsburgh. No assistance, no drama, just a mother making sure her kid was comfortable in her new space. After a heartfelt goodbye, Katie headed back to New York, stepping into a new chapter as an empty nester, while Suri kicked off her freshman year with quiet confidence. Even though Suri now lives in Pittsburgh, she didn't stay away for long. She recently returned to New York to support her mom at the Broadway debut of Our Town. During her visit, Suri was spotted around the city with her beloved cat Eleanor, soaking in familiar streets and old routines. Katie later shared her gratitude for family support on social media, posting a backstage photo with her parents and sisters who attended opening night. While it's unclear if Suri made it to a performance, her short visit still felt like a warm reunion that showed their bond hasn't missed a beat. Katie continues to cheer Suri on from afar, proud and protective as ever, and that pride showed again when the two were spotted stepping out together in New York City, serving casual but chic energy. Bundled up in oversized jackets, their looks were different but perfectly matched. Suri rocked navy pants, a shearling-lined denim jacket, and trendy boots, giving effortless fall vibes. Katie kept it classic in a long camel coat layered over a gray sweatsuit, finished with sunglasses and a tote bag for that laid-back city look. It's clear Suri inherited her mom's love for fall layering because the duo has been spotted in stylish pairings on multiple visits. In a recent Glamour interview, Katie called Suri an incredible person, praising her independent spirit while also expressing how grateful she is to protect her daughter, especially after growing up in the public eye. Meanwhile, Tom Cruise has been busy doing what he does best, going full throttle in Hollywood. While he wasn't present for Suri's graduation or her big college move, he's deep into production on Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 2, set for release on May 21, 2025. And that's not even the wildest part. Tom is also planning a movie literally set in space. He's teaming up with NASA and Elon Musk's SpaceX for a project directed by Doug Liman, where he could head to the International Space Station and possibly attempt a spacewalk. That move alone could make him one of the first civilians to do something like that for a movie role. Tom has teased that the team is working hard behind the scenes to make this massive vision real. With Tom chasing history-making projects and Katie and Suri thriving in New York, the contrast couldn't be louder. Suri is carving her own lane, grounded and creative, while her mom watches proudly from the sidelines. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Will Tom and Suri ever reconnect, or are they set on separate paths for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next story.